In this video, we'll be translating simple word phrases to algebraic expressions. The goal of this video is to help you become familiar with the most common word phrases you'll see, and once you understand what you're reading, translating becomes much easier. I won't be covering more complex examples like this one in this video. You can check the description below for a link to my video that covers more complex translations. Now let's first begin by covering our first 6 phrases that will tell us to add. Our first one is the word plus. We're used to seeing this one. An example would be 5 plus 4, and the expression would look like this, 5 plus 4. Next we have the word sum, and the word sum is the result of addition. So when we hear that, we should be thinking addition. An example is the sum of x and 12. Now we want to pay attention to the words of and. So in this case, the sum of x and 12. Now when you see of, it's telling you, okay, let's take a look at the next 2 numbers or groups of numbers. And then we have x and 12. That and separates those 2 numbers. So we can see the expression as x plus 12. Next we have increased by. 9 increased by 7. Increased by means to add, so we have the expression 9 plus 7. Next, we have the word total, or total of. An example would be the total of a number and 2. In this case, we see the phrase a number. Now, that can be any number. In math, we use variables to represent an unknown number or amount. Typically, any letter can be used as a variable, and for this example, I chose the letter y. So for our expression, we have y plus 2. Now, in this example, we have the phrase more than. Now, this is a special case that we want to pay attention to the order of the addends. An example would be 3 more than 10. 3 more than 10 means that we start with 10, and we're adding 3 more to it. And that would give us 10 plus 3. And although the commutative property says that 10 plus 3 and 3 plus 10 are the same, for the sake of translating this phrase exactly, 10 plus 3 is better. And we'll have other phrases that the order of the numbers will matter, so this is good practice for those moments. To sum up that portion, 3 more than 10 means we have 10 plus 3. And our last one for addition is added to. 4 added to 8. That means we have 8 and we added 4 more to it. So that's translated literally as 8 plus 4. Next, we have 5 phrases that tell us to subtract. With addition, we have the commutative property of addition that allows us to change the order of the addends and get the same result. Unfortunately, for subtraction, there is no such property, which means the order of the numbers is very important. Let's take a look at a few phrases for subtraction. Our first one is minus. An example would be t minus 3. And that would look like t minus 3. Next, we have difference. Difference is the result of subtraction, so when you hear that word, you should be thinking subtraction. We have difference of 15 and 7. This is another one of those cases where we want to pay attention to the words of and, because that helps us set up this expression. So the difference of 15 and 7 is 15 minus 7. We have decreased by. Decreased by is telling us to subtract. An example would be 50 decreased by 30 means we have 50 and we subtract 30. 50 minus 30. Subtracted from is one of those special cases where we want to pay attention to the order of the numbers. An example is 10 subtracted from 21. To translate this one literally, we have 10 subtracted from 21. We have 21 minus 10. Next, we have less than. It's another one of those funny examples. So we have 9 less than 13. 9 less than 13 means we start off with 13 and we want 9 less than that, which translates to 13 minus 9. Next, we have 3 common phrases that tell us to multiply. And we have an easy one. We have the word times. We have 8 times 11. which translates to 8 times 11. Next, we have the word product. Product is the result of multiplication, so when we hear it, we should be thinking multiplication. The product of 25 and 3 would be translated as 25 times 3. And our last one for multiplication is the word twice. So this phrase is unique in that it's telling us specifically to multiply by 2. Twice is translated as 2 times something. And in this case, we have twice a number. And remember, a number can be represented by a variable since it's an unknown value. I chose the letter n because the word number starts with the letter n and it's easy to remember, although you're allowed to use any letter for a variable. And our last 4 phrases in this video will be about division. Our first one is the word quotient. Quotient of 12 and 4. Quotient is the result of division, so when we hear that word, we should be thinking division. This is translated as 12 divided by 4. Next we have divided by, 10 divided by 3. This one's pretty straightforward, so we get 10 divided by 3. Next we have the ratio of. An example is ratio of x and 5. Now the phrase ratio of can be used to represent division, and we want to remember that it's the first number divided by the number after the word and. So we have x divided by 5. And our last phrase, divided into. We want to pay attention to this phrase because it's one of those backwards phrases. So we have 9 divided into 18. 9 divided into 18 is basically asking us, how many times does 9 go in 18? Now in this example, we're not interested in finding that answer, we just want to set it up and translate it. So we get 18 divided by 9. That's it for this video, and here's a list of all the phrases that I covered so you can take notes or make flashcards to help you recognize these phrases. Check out the description below to watch my video that covers more complex translation problems where we combine multiple phrases to translate. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.